Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. Tonight I have a very special show. I have Marco Farrell with Hungry Mother Organics, and we've been doing some shows on sustainability, and your name comes up a lot. I've been trying to track you down. I did some filming at a park, and I found your business card on the ground, believe it or not. So I had your name, your number, and where, and so I promised people I would get you on and have them talk about your business, and thank you for being on the show.
No problem. Well, I guess I better thank that person who got our business card and tossed it then.
Well, it had numerous marks on it, like it had been pinned to something. So
okay.
I don't know, but in any case, you have an interesting business. It's an organic business, I assume, because of your name.
Right.
And what type of organics do you do?
Well, we grow plants and produce primarily. We have a certified organic farming business. Probably about 2/3 of the business is plants, growing plants for other people, vegetable starts for gardens, that kind of thing, and then we grow produce also and do farmers markets, and we have a retail outlet now.
So you have a farm as well. So that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. We have a lot of help though. I don't have to do it all, but it is a lot of work, and it's a challenge, trying to do that in northern Nevada. It's not like we're in the Central Valley of California.
I know. When I first moved here, I couldn't get through the clay. I had a heck of a time in my little backyard garden. It took years in finally learning how to buy the right materials to get the ground loosened up.
Right.
And when Stacy talked to me about when I talked to your assistant, she talked about having like 1,000 homes, having home gardens. I said, sign me up. I want to be one, because I feel like we've had organic gardening shows on it before, and I'm at the level now. I think I can actually grow something, and very confidently. Mycorrhiza and things that help me grow.
Right.
So you just, she says you do lectures too. So I'm ready to learn what you got, and we'll teach me.
Yeah. Well, we try not to do lectures. We try to make our educational workshops that we do. We try to make them interactive.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some coming up this spring. We're going to do one that I think is particularly interesting for a lot of people around here is container gardening, showing people how they can take. We do a lot of baskets. We call them back porch baskets and window box lettuce and herbs, and containerize things that people, even if they don't have a backyard, or if they have a backyard that's with soil that's they feel is unmanageable, they can still garden. So we're going to do a container gardening workshop and show people how they can use any kind of container they can get their hands on and actually produce some food with it.
I was doing a show, and I heard that the gal said that she had dogs, and when she start doing container gardening, she had less destruction of the dogs on her because of the containers.
Right.
So I just thought that's what we're going to do, because my girlfriend and I were talking about getting a dog, and said, well, we're going to have to go to containers.
Yeah.
So is that part of the theory too?
Yeah, and one of the things we do that really is kind of a hot item at the farmers markets and stuff, we do hanging lettuce baskets. So, we take a large hanging basket and plant it up with a lot of our specialty lettuces. And, we've had people come back, a couple of months after buying them and say, I just love that. I've had a salad every day, because they can hang them up out of the way, so that the rabbits or the dogs or cats or whatever can't get into them. So
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of solutions that you can use to get around the critter thing. And actually we're going to have another workshop. I think it's coming up in May, and it's going to be on dealing with critters and insects and all those other challenges, the four-legged and sometimes two-legged pests that you have that can get into the garden.
Well, that sounds exciting, because there's a lot of challenges, and like I said, if your dog, and we have squirrels, I don't know about those things, but that sounds like they can get into a lot of things that are hanging. And
yeah, and we build planter boxes and use wire netting and stuff. Sometimes if you live out where you've got a lot of native habitat for squirrels and everything, mice, voles, and all that. Sometimes you have to be fairly vigilant to try to keep them at bay, and you have to use physical barriers or repellents and stuff, but it's doable.
Well, that sounds exciting. Well, where is your store at? Do you have a store, you said?
Yeah, we're on Highway 395, and you mentioned Full Circle Compost.
Yes.
Craig and I have been friends for a long time. We're on the same spot as them. It used to be Northern Nevada Nursery.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Bob Moore? Bob Moore ran Northern Nevada Nursery up there.
No, but the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, real good guy. He was there for about 18 years, and he just was nice enough to work out a deal with us, and so he's actually there with us all summer. He's got a winter job at one of the ski areas, and so, but he's coming on board, and so for the summers he'll be there. He's a a local plant expert, and a lot of people, he's got quite a following, people that trust him to help them make plant selections and stuff. So we're keeping him on board to kind of do the tree, shrubbery, plant thing, landscape plant part of it, and then we're concentrating on kind of turning the store into somewhat of a roadside farm stand.
All right.
So we'll be doing, selling our organic produce off of the farm, and then also, plants and doing the workshops and encouraging people to, to get into doing this on their own.
Well, I taped Craig once doing a lecture, and he had a picture of a tomato plant above his head from his back door. Is that something that you can do too? Can set me up with?
Yeah. We haven't gotten too much into. Well, we do actually do a couple of varieties of hanging basket tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. Haven't gotten too much. I wish I had been the inventor of that, the topsy-turvy tomato that you see everywhere. Don't have any experience with them, although we have grown tomatoes in hanging containers somewhat like that, and it works. But yeah, we'll cover in our container workshop, we'll cover a lot of that kind of stuff. What you can do and what seems to work and what doesn't work so well, that kind of thing.
Well, how'd you happen to get in this type of business?
Oh, I think it must have been way back when I got a degree in English and philosophy, and then decided I better find something more practical to do. And of course, my dad wasn't too happy when he heard that meant I was going to switch and go into agriculture.
Wow!
He said, "Can't you find something to do that's going to lead to gainful employment?" And anyway, I came from a background just like we were talking earlier, where all of my family were, if not already out, getting out of the agricultural business, and in the Midwest, farms were back late 70s and 80s when a lot of the farm decline happened. So it wasn't a real popular decision, but I've been doing it for I guess maybe 25 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah. Off and on, I taught agricultural education in high school and worked as an extension agent. So I've kind of gone back and forth between the teaching horticulture and agriculture and actually being in the business growing things.
Well, actually, the extension agent was one of the people that taught me about the little keeping the dogs out of your plants. That's what she had a problem at that green festival, that green thing you did, and that's a lot of fun. Well, you got the bug now, so you probably can't get out. You'll probably love being outside and getting your hands dirty and growing things.
Oh yeah. I can't imagine doing anything else. At least got to at least save some time for that. And I've been lucky to be able to get into doing this full time. I just got back into doing it full time again about 5 years ago, and it's been good. And the market has changed so much. For 20 of the last 25 years. I used to get those looks from family and friends, kind of like they felt a little sorry for me or couldn't figure it out. It's like, you're still doing that organic farming thing, and things have changed so much that now it's kind of a hot topic, and people say, "Wow, you're doing that? That's all the rage. That must be you must be doing great." And so it's.
Well, I know my sister's so allergic that she absolutely has to go organic. Everything has to be pure, because the simplest thing will just get her over the edge. So we've been fans of organic for a long time. It's a habit, but it's a good habit.
Yeah, and we get a lot of people that come in the store, either they have food allergies or chemical allergies or sensitivities, and also a lot of people who are taking more of a holistic healing approach to some kind of a medical condition. And so we get people coming in and asking, "Hey, can I get this organic? My doctor says I need to eat organic food," and so they're just looking for a good source of local organic food. And the local thing is really big now too. It's it's partly driven by the organics thing. People like the idea of having a organic food, but it's also the local thing that's really become a big issue now.
Mm-hmm. Well, Craig, when he did his lecture, was talking about some way that you could test the quality of an apple, making sure you're getting the nutrients from it, because that's something you can do too.
Yeah, testing the sugars. Craig's he's got a Brix meter that he likes to go around and test it, and he can show a direct correlation between the soil biology and the nutrition in the soil and the quality of the the sugar levels and the quality of the produce, which is organic farmers and gardeners have been saying that for years.
Yes.
And they used to get laughed off by a lot of the the establishment scientists and stuff, there's really nothing to that. They used to say, don't feed your plants, feed the soil, and if you have healthy soil, healthy soil leads to healthy plants, and that used to be just disregarded, but now, there's a lot of scientific evidence documenting that's in fact the case. If you have healthy soil, you have healthy plants.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I also heard that you're involved with a prison situation where you're helping inmates grow or something like that.
Yeah, we've been out there for about 4 years now. We lease property from the Northern Nevada Correctional Center, and we grow. We have a greenhouse and several hoop houses out there, and we do about 5 acres of produce out there.
Well, that's got to be exciting, the getting them outside and working and getting some sunshine and things like that.
Yeah. It adds another element of challenge, of course, to the whole, to the business part of it. But I think it's great for the, a lot of the inmates. That's the only chance they have to get out and work. And most of them do appreciate being able to be outside and work, doing honest day's work. And
Well, I worked with inmates at the governor's mansion, and they're the friendliest, hardworkingest people I've ever been around because they really appreciate the chance just to get out and do something.
Yeah.
And they were taking care of the governor's lawn and the bushes and things like that, and it was beautiful. Everything was perfect, and so I'm sure some of your training was used there.
Oh yeah. In fact, I've lost an inmate or two to the governor's mansion. When
you got them trained. And
when they get a chance to go, community trustee status and go work somewhere like that, of course, I can't blame them for wanting to, get out and do that. But yeah, we've had a couple of people move over to the governor's mansion and other places, in Carson City to work.
Well, is that something you can expand further to elementary schools and where the kids could help grow something and then eat it for lunch or something like that?
Yeah, that's actually what we were doing. We talked for a minute before we started here about this new initiative that we're taking to try to promote more of that. I'm working with a nonprofit foundation that's what they would like for us to do. They approached us and said, can you help us, or would you like to partner on trying to, do some of the educational things and the training programs that you're doing at the prison, and bring that to other segments of the public, working with schools and working with other people. And so that's what the 1,000 Backyard Farms thing is about.
Well, that sounds absolutely perfect. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about Focus. Thank you.
Already passed her by. Bob Dylan didn't have this to sing about.
Hi, we're back from break with Marco Farrell of Hungry Mother Organics, and I was starting to get involved with the Focus, and I wasn't quite sure what that is.
Uh-huh. Well, Focus is a nonprofit organization from Truckee, and they work with a couple of different groups. One of them, I don't know if you've ever heard of, For Goodness Sake.
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Focus is a nonprofit foundation, and they are interested in addressing this imbalance between consumption and production, and just as we were talking about before the program, the fact that we've gotten so far away from producing here in this country, and of course everybody knows we've got the consumption thing down pretty well, but so we've had a lot of discussions about how to address that, and they really like the idea of promoting backyard food production and sustainability and a little bit of self-sufficiency on the part of
So
everyone.
If someone like myself wants to start a backyard garden for food, you're saying now, I come to you and you give me pointers on what to grow in my particular area. I'm in South Lake Tahoe.
Right.
And you can help me get started with you could test my ground, my dirt.
Yeah. And a lot of times what we'll do is refer people to our friends at Full Circle, because Craig does a really good job with soil testing and soil amendments. Now we have, like most garden centers, we have a lot of individual soil amendments, and we can help you with that if you know what you need, and you might just need some phosphorus. We carry some of those supplements, but yeah, we can help you kind of.
So you have the product that what I need, you can get.
Right,
phosphorus,
we
those
can
good
get,
things.
yeah. But like I said, we refer a lot of people to Full Circle just because, they have a great product where, compost and getting organic matter back in the soil is a lot of times the key. But along that line, we have a program coming up. Again, as part of our partnership with Focus, we're helping to sponsor this 1,000 Backyard Farms initiative. And basically that's to help people like you or anyone else that wants to produce food in their, some food for themselves. But we're actually starting a backyard farmers school, and we're gonna. We'll be.
I like it.
Yeah, we'll be meeting the first Tuesday of every month. I think I'll get back to you with the exact dates, but I'm fairly certain we set up the first Tuesday of every month, and we'll have a backyard farmers school. And the great thing about it is we're going to keep it fairly informal. We hope to initiate a backyard farmers swap at those meetings. So if you've got a lot of tomatoes and you want to bring them in and swap with other people,
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so we'll have kind of a little
hopefully I will.
Yeah, vegetable swap, but also we'll have an educational component, and try to draw on the knowledge of people like you that have been doing this, so that the newcomers that don't know about it, they don't need to sit and listen to me talk or anyone else for that matter exclusively. So we really want to try to get people involved to share the knowledge.
So we can share the knowledge, share the food, and when we have too much food for our own plate, we just give it to those that need it.
Exactly.
Because you can give them to your local senior center or your local food closet, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, we're hoping. So far, we've gotten a pretty good response. I have quite a few people interested, and it's amazing how many people around here have a lot of good experience to share. I'm kind of trying to tailor, all the education and background I have in growing stuff to this climate, which is a challenge. But, we've got a lot of people around who have been gardening and farming here for, 20, 30 years, and we'd really like to try to figure out a way to, to get that knowledge shared across.
Oh, yeah. Well, what region are you from?
I grew up in the Midwest, in Ohio, actually.
Oh, whereabouts?
Right on the Ohio River, Columbiana County, just a little town right on the Ohio River. And, like I said, most of my family was involved in farming, but it was more my grandfather and my great uncles. And, since then, my mom and dad's generation were kind of out of it, and everybody was trying to flee that, their ties to the farm at that point. And
well, we had a farm in Washington Courthouse, Ohio, and it was just a nice family little town, and it's kind of too bad that kind of went by the wayside, because you had the whole hometown, everything was just perfect, quiet, church going, and just a nice little situation. The food, and we helped people during the Great Depression. But back to the home gardens. I always thought we have all this government property. Why can't we use some of that for like a neighborhood garden and share the property and everyone just going to go there and take care of a little spot or something like that. I don't know. I've heard that Europe
Yeah.
does that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it is becoming more common here in the States. You know, there are quite a few places. The schools, there's a lot of interest from several schools. In fact, we worked with 3 or 4 local elementary school gardens, but I think that's becoming a lot. There's a lot more interest is being generated in that. You know, I'm not sure right here. You know, because here land is not so much an issue. A lot of people have a a backyard, or a lot of times have an acre or two sometimes to play around with. But in the cities like in Reno, I know of a couple of places where they've gotten together and taken a city block that's overrun, and there's a group that's working with the university to use some of the land over at the at the research farm. And
Excellent.
I think that's a great idea. And actually, the Ron Wood Center up in Carson City, they're working on community garden projects, and there's actually the drop-in center. I'm trying to think of the name, but the homeless shelter. They have a garden. They
The dew drop in.
yeah. They Dee Dee's put in a garden over there.
Yeah,
with her.
she's aggressive.
Yeah, great. Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah.
But they had a great little garden right there at their office, and then they also worked with a couple of Section 8 housing projects to have people working on installing gardens there, and it was
Well, that's
great.
perfect.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this is going to all kinds of different areas.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we're trying to do. We grow, a fair amount of produce, and I love doing that, and it's great to be able to grow produce and share it. But, what we've decided in our partnership with Focus is to, rather than concentrate on us trying to grow to where we grow for, 1,000 more people or whatever, we want to try to see if we can get 1,000 people involved in the food chain and producing some of their own food and sharing it.
So on a butcher store, how often can I go there to get organic gardening or organic products? Are you open 7
yeah.
days a week type thing?
No, you know what? We're open right now. Actually, we were closed for 6 weeks or so, just
I
over
thought
the
so
winter.
because the gate was locked. Yeah.
Right. And I think this is the last year we'll do that. I think next year we'll have our production up and have enough things going that we'll stay open through the winter. But we're going to be opening up on the 12th, I think it is, 11th or 12th, that Saturday of February. And then we'll be open Tuesday through Saturday. And we're open from 10 to 6, trying to stay open late enough to give people a chance after work to get down there. But
It's getting more light now, too. That'll be part of it.
Yeah, we'll be open 10 to 6 Tuesday through Friday, and then 10 to 3 on Saturdays.
Now, the person, Stacy, I talked to, is she like your assistant manager?
Actually, she's sort of our special projects coordinator, and she's kind of our go-between with Focus. And what she's doing is helping us figure out how we can leverage the resources that we have and do some of the educational stuff. She actually worked for 3 or 4 years as a volunteer and a project coordinator for the Sierra Club in New Mexico. Yeah, so she's got a lot of background in organizing and volunteer efforts and stuff like that. So it's been great just in the short time she's been here. She's helped us, get a newsletter out.
Well, the upcoming lectures, she was very excited about that. So
yeah.
Made me excited just to go.
Yeah, and she hasn't done much gardening either, but she kind of understands it and is really looking forward to learning that part of it. But she's going to be a great asset as far as the skills she has, organizational skills, and I think it's a good fit because she's really excited about learning, more about growing her own food too.
Well, you also mentioned during our break about recycling. I never really thought about recycling my dirt, but you said I should probably recycle my pots and things like that, or?
Well, you can, yeah, and that's one of the things we're trying to get off the ground is figure out a way to effectively recycle pots. Mm-hmm. But as I mentioned, one of the things that's unique about our product is the plants that we do. We're up, last year we were at about 70% recycled organic material. This year I think we're going to be at about 90 to 95%. So every plant that we produce will be produced in 90 to 95% recycled material. So some of that is recycled potting soil, from plants that we didn't sell or from plants that, we've grown in containers or whatever, but it's also using materials that we recycle locally and bring in recycled materials so that we can make a potting mix and don't have to mine, peat moss out of Canada and that kind of
So you
thing.
mean like a plant? I could come in and get like a tomato plant type thing, and you have them all
Yeah.
ready for me. And
Yeah, we do a lot of plants. In fact, we do plants. We have plants at our retail, and then we do plants for Whole Foods Market up in Reno. So if you go to Whole Foods Market, they've got a big display and stuff, and we've got all of our plants up there also. So we try to cover a range of anything you might want as a garden start. Tomatoes, vegetables. We do strawberries, ever-bearing strawberries.
all right.
And then, as we said, we've got Bob Moore who comes back in the summer to kind of cover that, the landscape stuff. And we don't do a lot of ornamental plants, but we do some. We do some annual flowers and perennials and stuff like that.
Well, it sounds like you're into a lot of different areas.
Yeah.
And you're just having fun.
Oh yeah, just growing stuff. And we're trying to figure out what we can grow here, and anything we can grow here. We figure it's better to grow it here than to import it. So.
Well, that's a good thing. And your educational background, are you in charge of lectures, or do you bring in people to speak for you? Or?
You know what? Like I said, I like to mix it up a little bit. So we'll have, at least half of the time or more guest lectures and then drawing on other people, like with the Backyard Farming School, drawing on other just local people that have an area that they're passionate about, that they can come in and give us a little bit of local flavor and some local expertise on.
Well, we've talked about a lot of different areas. Can you give out your phone number and email so people can track you down and find out more information on what's going on for the various topics we touched on?
Sure, but I'll have to check my phone to get yeah, we're at 3190 Highway 395. So the retail center is right across from the the big RV park up on 395. Used to be Northern Nevada Nursery, right next to Full Circle Compost. Our phone number is 267-3084, and you can find us online at www.hungrymotherorganics.com. Or hungrymother.cc for short. We have a short handle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So on your website, do you have things for education too, or the schedule and calendars and what you have at your store? And
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're working on now, is getting that up to speed. Have kind of we're getting there, so we do have a website. We do have the calendar up now, so you can check the calendar and on the Backyard Farming School and our workshops, and we'll be adding more information to that as we go. We're hoping to get the website up to where you can really get a lot of information, links to other gardening sites and things
Well, we
like
mentioned
that.
Stacy and your friend Tom Moore. Is there other people who help you out in this project?
Oh yeah, we've got Matt Beatty, who's kind of helping me. I'm trying to get him up to speed where he can really manage all of the agricultural operations. So he's a real go-getter. A lot of people have been there. I've seen he hustles around, does everything from helping customers to delivering eggs.
So he's the man of all trades. Eggs. So you got chickens too?
Oh yeah, we've got about 500 chickens or so.
500 chickens.
Got a lot of people coming down to get farm fresh eggs.
Well, where do you get these at? Same place?
Oh yeah, we've got the chickens over at the correctional facility. But I wanted to mention we also Alyssa Harrison is a local lady who's helping us right now get the retail up. So she's kind of giving us some input, helping us get the retail, bringing in some of the the odds and ends that people look for when they come down to a garden center. And so we're hoping that the retail will be kind of a neat little place come this spring also.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of things to check out Mark's website and give him a call about the upcoming lectures. I know Stacy got me excited about them, and we're all going to learn how to farm in our backyards. And well, anyways, Mark, thank you for being on Nevada Trails.
Well, thank you.
I really appreciate it,
Michael.
and I can't wait to check out the place. So,
All right, come on up and see us.
It's been Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. Thank you.